Hello and welcome to the Grade 2 Contemporary Piano exam sheet. For this strand we're going to be having a look at the piece called Syncopated Suzie. Now we're very fortunate to have here today Luke, who has agreed to play the piano for us, so I thank him in advance for this. We're going to ask Luke in a minute to play the piece Syncopated Suzie, then we'll have a little discussion about the piece, and then finally I'll ask Luke to play a second performance of it. So without any ado, let us go straight in now and ask Luke to play for us Syncopated Suzie. So this piece is an interesting one in the fact that the title gives away the detail that you need to put in to get higher marks with this. So the title is Syncopated Suzie. So can Luke tell me, what is a syncopation?
Is it something that links to off the beat?
Yeah, that's right. So can you give me an example of where there is a syncopation, do you think, in this piece? Maybe on the first line?
The first right-hand section.
Yeah, can you see you've got some ties all the way through? Mm-hmm. Now whenever you get a tie in a piece like this, it's going to cause a syncopation. So the idea with this piece is that you just emphasise the ties just a little bit more, alright? So at the beginning it's going to be da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da. So a good technique to do there would be to put like a little tenuto marking or an emphasis marking of some kind. I don't think it needs to be as strong as an accent, you don't need to bring it out that much, but just give it a little bit of a push really, so that the syncopations come out. And if you do that, that means you're playing in the style of the title, which does help your marks quite a lot. Now as for the left hand, you've got an interesting left hand here, because in a way the left hand is just as important as the right hand in this piece because it has its own tune. Okay, so it's a bit like having the double bass, you know, plucking away at the bottom, you know, doom, bum, 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 like that, you see. And so you've got to decide really how you're going to tackle those left hand notes. Now Luke, when he played that first performance, did the notes quite lightly, which is a lovely idea, yeah? So you could maybe, you know, carry on doing that light idea all the way through the section. Now it does repeat again, the tune, doesn't it, a bit later on, but it does repeat an octave higher. So if you have a look at bar 11, you see it goes an octave higher there. So what I suggest you do there is maybe have a contrast in some way. So maybe have forte for all that first section up to bar 10, and then when it comes in an octave higher, you might want to change the left hand and instead of playing it light, play it a lot more sort of stronger maybe. Or you might want to just change the dynamic there and put an extra dynamic in just to spice it up. But I feel you need some sort of contrast there to show the difference between the lower octave tune and the higher octave tune. So have a think about that yourself. If you put your own idea in, you're creating what's called ownership in the music, and so you're creating your own little X Factor song, so to speak. And so that's all to the good. And you certainly won't be penalised for putting your own detail like that if you wanted to do that. Now at bar 25 you've also got the sign dim a row. So you get quieter and you get slower. So as you get slower you end up grinding to a halt really at the end of bar 26, and then you've got your fermata there. So before you launch yourself back into the main tune, you need to take a deep breath really, and it won't do you any harm just to go like that before going back in again and playing the opening again. Now you're going back at bar 27 to the same tune that you started with, so whichever technique you decided to do at the beginning, I feel you should adopt the same technique there and just repeat it in exactly the same way. And the other thing you need to watch out for are occasional D sharps that pop in, alright, which sort of hints at the key of E minor. Even though the piece is in the key of G major, there are sections which does hint at E minor, which is the relative minor to G major. So just watch out for those D sharps that do pop in every now and again. Right, so shall we give another performance now? Are you going to play light at the beginning, or are you going to play heavy with the left hand, Luke?
I'll play heavy to start off with.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. This strand of the contemporary piano, grade 2.